I see this comment all the time. I've been accused of domestic violence, but they have no evidence against me. But here is the hard truth. In California, the word of a single witness can be enough to convict you. No photos, no video, no other witnesses, just one person's testimony. And if that person changes their story later, it might not matter. People are convicted every day based solely on one accusation. In this video, I'll show you exactly how it plays out in court and, more importantly, how to defend yourself when it does. Stick around until the end because understanding how this really works could be the difference between winning your case and losing everything. My name is Veronica. I'm a domestic violence defense attorney. I help people throughout the entire state of California put their cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. I'm also the creator of a course called Defeat the DVRO, in which I teach you how to represent yourself at a restraining order hearing and win. So if the victim is not on your side and hits you with a restraining order in addition to the criminal case, make sure to get your free first class via the link down below. Okay, so let's jump right in. How can you be convicted based on the word of a single witness? Well, in California, that's the law. The judge actually tells the jury that they can convict based on the testimony of just one witness if they believe that witness beyond a reasonable doubt. No physical evidence is needed, no confession, just one story told well enough. And it's even harder in domestic violence cases because it's not just what a witness, the alleged victim, says in court, it's what they said out of court to police, caught on body cam footage, that can be enough to convict you even when they later try to take it back. Now, here's the exact instruction that the judge will read to the jury if your case goes to trial.
The testimony of only one witness can prove any fact. Before you conclude that the testimony of one witness proves a fact, you should carefully review all the evidence.
Okay, so if you have been accused of domestic violence, how do you handle this? The way to approach this depends upon whether the victim is now at court on your side or not. So let's talk first about how to handle it if the witness is against you. Okay, if the alleged victim is still against you, my job as a domestic violence defense attorney is to destroy their credibility by showing the jury why their story cannot be trusted, certainly not beyond a reasonable doubt. So to do that, we need to poke holes in their story and expose contradictions. We need to catch them in lies that matter, ones that they cannot explain away. Not small mistakes, but serious things that a jury should care about. Let's get into an example. We are Marcus's criminal defense team. Marcus broke up with his girlfriend, Tanya, and she did not take it well, to put it mildly. It didn't help that she was drinking. She physically attacked him, and when she did that, he pushed her away from him. She called the police and he got charged with domestic violence. Now in court, she's just testified tearfully to the jury that he punched her in the face during an argument. She did apparently have some bruising. Now, as Marcus's lawyers, it is our turn to cross-examine her. At our disposal, we have body-worn video of her telling the police that night that Marcus had slapped her, not punched her. Now, before we pull out the body-worn video and play it to the jury, we need to discredit her by asking her questions. But before we just pull out the body-worn video, we need to make sure to eliminate any wiggle room. We don't want her to be able to say that it was a mistake or that it wasn't important later. So here are the questions that we ask her on cross-examination. First question. You testified earlier that Marcus punched you in the face. That's your clear memory? She's going to say yes. I mean, she may try to add some extra stuff. That's fine. But basically, she's going to say yes. You're not guessing about that. You're not confused about that. You remember it clearly because that moment, being punched, stuck with you. Now, if she says no to any of these questions, okay, great. Now we have a witness who doesn't even remember what happened, who said that they do not have a clear memory. If she wants to convict Marcus, if she's not on his side, if she is still sour about the breakup or the relationship, she's absolutely going to say yes. So either way, this is good for us, especially because now we get to show the jury the body-worn video where she clearly says that he slapped her. Now, you might be thinking, well, slap or punch, either way, it's still an assault, right? But that's not the point. The point is she is changing her story on a critical detail, and she's not confused about it. She's confident. She's clear. She tells the jury, he punched me. I remember it clearly. That is where the trap is set. That's not a small mix-up. That is a deliberate shift, a change that makes the story sound worse. And this is very common in domestic violence cases. As time goes on, they exaggerate the details. They think that it looks worse for the defendant, but actually, if approached correctly, Instead of making it worse for the defendant, it discredits them. This evolution of Tanya's story tells us that she's trying to make Marcus look more violent. She's not mistaken, she is lying. And once a witness lies about how something happened, the jury can question, and as defense counsel, we definitely will question whether anything that they said is true. And so as a defense, we argue, of course, that you cannot believe Tanya's testimony. And if you don't believe Tanya's testimony, then you cannot convict Marcus. Now, let's talk about if the alleged victim is now on your side, because we need to approach that differently. We have to explain, or rather, the alleged victim needs to explain with the help of defense counsel why they lied in the first place, and it needs to be believable. If the alleged victim gets on the stand and says that they lied and that you did not commit any abuse, the prosecution will do everything in their power to discredit that alleged victim. Basically, what the prosecution will do is exactly what I do to alleged victims who are against the defendant. Exactly what we just did with Tanya. Poke holes in their story, expose their contradictions, expose their motives to lie. So the alleged victim needs to have a dang good explanation for why they lied before and why they are telling the truth now. So let's go back to Marcus and Tanya. Let's say that in a parallel universe, after Marcus gets arrested, Tanya feels bad and she wants to drop the charges. She regrets everything. Here's how that plays out in court, and here is how we, as Marcus's defense counsel, will handle it. So the prosecution subpoenas Tanya, and at court, they present their case. They argue that Tanya told the truth when the cops first came out, that was the real version. That was the truth before she got manipulated or scared or softened. Now, before Tanya testifies, the prosecution has already called an expert on battered women syndrome. Someone to sit in front of the jury and say, This
is classic battered woman syndrome. Victims like Tanya often recant because they love their abusers, because they don't know what's best for them, because they're financially dependent or emotionally traumatized.
So that expert witness called by the prosecution testified. And despite our objections, the judge also lets in the body-worn footage, and the jury sees it. Tanya crying, telling the police that Marcus slapped her, that she was afraid, and then it gets worse. When Tanya gets on the stand, she tries to take it back. She tries to testify when the prosecutor is asking her questions about how she did lie back then and she's telling the truth now. And the prosecutor then turns on her. He gets aggressive. He gets harsh with her. He tells her perjury is a crime. He tells her that by saying that she attacked Marcus, she's confessing to assault. He hints that she could go to jail right there, right then. She's sitting there on the stand looking completely wrecked. She's shaking. She can barely speak. And Marcus is sitting at the defense table next to us, watching this and thinking, she's going to fold, she's going to break, and she's going to say that I hit her after all. That's how hard this gets. But now, as Marcus's attorneys, it is our turn. Cross-examination. Now, this cross-examination is very different than the cross-examination that we had when Tanya was against us. It's not a hostile cross. It's not about catching her in a lie. It's about supporting her when she tells the truth and helping her explain it. We give her the space to tell the jury what she was thinking that night, that she was drinking, that she panicked, that she was afraid that the police would arrest her because she had attacked Marcus, and that, most importantly, she was afraid after she called the police that they would arrest her because she had, in reality, attacked Marcus. And she thought that if she just said what they expected to hear, and if she blamed Marcus before he could blame her by telling the truth, we let her explain how she was devastated after Marcus broke up with her, that she wasn't thinking clearly, that she was drinking, that she spiraled so far beyond what she ever imagined. And the jury needs to hear it from her. They need to feel it. It can't come from me or from us as defense counsel. It has to come from her, raw, honest, and human. So in our cross-examination, we give her the floor and we ask her questions like, Tanya, can you help the jury understand what was going through your head when the police showed up that night? What were you afraid would happen if Marcus told them what you had done? And why did you decide to come here today and tell the truth, knowing how hard it would be? We ask these open-ended questions and we help her walk the jury through exactly what she was thinking that night. She needs our help as defense counsel because the prosecutor is doing everything in his power to not help her. And this is something that so many attorneys overlook, helping the victim tell their story when they want to recant, because it is not easy. And because, yes, the prosecution has the burden of proof. But when they've got this body-worn video of her crying and saying that he hit her and that she's afraid, when they have expert witnesses, and when they have cops backing it all up, We need the jury to believe her now. We need them to understand why she lied then. And we need them to feel like the truth is finally being told. So now, as the defense, that jury instruction can actually help us. Because if you believe Tanya now, if you believe her when she got to tell her whole story in court with our help, then you should not convict Marcus. That's how you defend a recanting domestic violence case. And it is a fight all the way to the verdict, even when the victim is on your side, sometimes especially then. If you're facing domestic violence charges in California, don't wait. My firm focuses solely on domestic violence cases. It is all that we do day in and day out. I've helped clients walk away with their freedom and their records clean, even in tough cases like this with Tanya on our side, against us, or somewhere in the middle. Every moment matters. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do have a domestic violence case in California, feel free to book a free consultation via the link down below. You can also find my number there. And if you did find it helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell.